Hi everyone, welcome to video 2 for the Hopscotch Valentine's Day card class that's online. And we're going to be doing cards 6 through 10 today. So the first thing you need to do is download the PDF over at BasicGrey.com. That will give you measurements and how to cut your cardstock to make sure that your cards are the correct size. So the first card we're going to be working on today is a standard size card, and it has the fold on the side. And it looks like this. This is the card we're going to be working on. So I've already cut down some pieces of pattern paper and just to get things started. But the first thing you need to do is actually cut off 1/2 inch off the side of the front of the card. After you folded it, you don't want to cut it off before because then you might not get it folded to the correct size. Okay, so I just took off that little portion right there. And now we're going to take this piece of pattern paper here and we're going to punch it with a scallop punch. And I cut it down to be 5.5 inches wide, and that means that I can use the image on the scallop punch to make sure that it is centered. So I can get as much of the scallops as I can. Okay, so there's our scallop edge here. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to take our card and we're going to open it up and put adhesive on the inside edge that we just cut. Along that edge, and then we're going to take this scallop piece here, and on the front side we're going to put adhesive on the straight edge. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're going to place it on top of the card on the inside. We're going to get that lined up just where we need it, and then we're going to close the card. That makes it so the front of the card is the correct size. If you need to trim anything off, feel free. I'm just going to take my scissors to this edge here. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the front of the card. Like mine, yours doesn't quite line up and there's a little bit of a white strip right there. It's okay because we're going to take this strip of the dark pink pattern paper. I'm going to put adhesive on the back, and then we can cover that little edge up. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to start building the center area, and I've got this piece of blue pattern paper, and now we need to cut out the hearts. These are the hearts that are in the template for this week's PDF, and so I'm going to take the one that's labeled pink, and this is some of that scratch pink I've got left, and I'm going to just trim around this heart a little bit so that I can make sure it all fits. And I'm going to take some removable adhesive. I'll just put that down onto the pattern paper. And then I've got some white, and this is a scratch piece of white cardstock from when I cut all the cards for today's cards. Once again, I'll use removable adhesive. Just put that down. And I'm just going to trim these out. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to take some dimensional adhesive and just adhere the pink heart down onto the white. Pretty centered. Okay, and now we're going to take that letter piece of pattern paper, the one we haven't been cutting apart, but the one we've been taking the centers out of, and we're going to cut out this U right here, the whole word. So I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife, make sure nothing's underneath it. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take the piece of blue pattern paper. I'm going to go ahead and adhere the word down onto the pattern paper. Just right there. We're going to take one of the tabs. We're going to be using this one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the dimensional adhesive on the back because we're going to be putting this entire sentiment area onto the card with some dimensional adhesive, so that'll actually work to our advantage. I'm going to get that under the edge, just what I want. Goes on just like that. I'm going to put some dimensional adhesive on the back. Oh, I almost forgot. We need to do white stitching along this edge. So with the dimensional adhesive on the back of this, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to have this edge line up with the edge of that pink paper. Okay, so there's card 1. We're going to head right into card 2 right now. Okay, for this card, I'm going to start out with some pattern paper, and I've already cut it down to the size I need. The fold on the card is on the side, and this pattern paper right here is 4 1/4 wide by 4 inches tall. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down. Okay, and then I've got this piece, which is 4 1/4 wide by 1.5 inches tall. That can go right up against that other piece of pattern paper. I've got these two pieces. You know, this is a die cut from the Hopscotch pieces, and then this is just a strip of dark pink pattern paper that is 4 1/4 wide by just shy of 1/2 inch tall. And I'm going to adhere this straight down onto the die cut. The die cut is slightly longer, so I'm just going to adhere it down, and then once we have it on the card, we can trim it off. Actually, I'm going to trim it before I put it on the card, just because it's going to be on dimensional adhesive, so it'll be slightly easier to do it now. So it's just going to go on there just like that. Okay, so there's that. And now I've got this other die cut piece, and I'm going to cut off this edge, and I'm going to have it be just slightly over from the line by the number 10. So it's just like that. Now we're going to start building this piece for the sentiment. So I'm going to take this tab from the Hopscotch tabs, and I'm going to leave the dimensional adhesive on the back since we're going to be adhering the whole sentiment piece to the card with dimensional adhesive, so it'll just hold that tab down even better. Okay. We want it just about right there. Okay. Now I'm going to put dimensional adhesive on the back of the die cut, and I'm going to adhere it just above that dark pink paper, just about right there. And now it's time to add our large letter stickers saying the word friend. Okay, so I've put the letter stickers down onto the card. So I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to round these two outside corners. Need to do some white stitching on this right here. It'll make it look like a ribbon, because we're going to do dashed lines on the bottom and top of this strip here. Okay, so that finishes up card number 7. We're going to head right into card 8. Okay, this is card 8. It's a really simple card. It's going to come together really quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I've got some pieces of pattern paper here. This one is 3 3/4 by 3, and this one is 3 3/4 by 2. And I'm going to get my card front here. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere these down. Okay, I'm going to take this piece and put it on dimensional adhesive. This is from the die cuts. And these 2 points right here that go in, I'm going to line those up along the line that we created with the 2 pattern papers. That makes it so it's on there straight. Now we're going to take our pattern paper with all the letters and cut out love you. And if you're like me, I've cut out a bunch of different things, and unfortunately the U up here has cuts taken into it, so I can't use this paper to cut it out. So I'm going to cut out both out of this spare sheet that I've already cut down earlier when we cut that circle for our card in the previous video. So just whatever you need to do to make sure you get a full word on both. Okay, I have both cut out now, so I'm going to take a dimensional adhesive and put it on the back. Then I'll put this one just right underneath. And the last thing to do to finish off this card is we're going to take a brown marker. It can be a journaling pen or anything like that. And we're going to add some thin lines around the outside edge. And okay, that finishes up card number 8, so we're going to head right into 9. Okay, for this card, I'm starting out with a large block of pattern paper. It's cut to 4.5 inches wide by 3 3/4 tall. And I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to round these 2 bottom corners. And then I'm going to take my card front and I'm going to adhere it straight onto the card. The fold is at the top this time. And I'm just going to get it centered with the straight edge butting up against the top. Just like that. I'm going to take my brown pen and I'm going to draw dashed lines all the way around the outside edge on the white cardstock. Okay. And now I have these other 2 strips of pattern paper. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this one straight down. And it's going sort of in the middle, but a little more towards the bottom on this piece of pattern paper. Just like that. We're going to take one of our tabs, the one that has the stitching on it right here. We go ahead and take the backing off the inside of the tab. And we're going to go ahead and adhere that onto this little strip here. Okay. And I'm going to take a couple of our pop stickers, this dark pink one, the coral pink. I'm going to put that right here. And then I'm going to take this little cream and brown one and have that kind of coming off the top. Just like that. And I'm going to take some dimensional adhesive and put it on the back of the strip. And then I'm going to put it onto the card. About just like that. And now all I have to do is add the small letter stickers that you see right here. This one is really, really tight. So you're going to want to like press these down really lightly until you have everything on there and fitting okay. And then go ahead and press down hard and make sure it's a permanent stick. Okay, so there's card 9 and we just have one more card this week. And it is this really long card here, really simple. And I'm going to show you what you need to do to cut out the pieces for this card here. You have some blue with floral pattern paper. It's got the kind of shell design on the other side. What you're going to do is you're going to cut out these petals over on this side. You're going to get a bunch of them. And then you're going to need one of these polka dot and one of the grid of these blue petals. And then this is a 1-inch circle that you can either cut or punch out of that pattern paper. And once you cut that out, I'm going to show you how to put it out on the card. So I've got all the petals in the center cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this large strip of the dark pink pattern paper. This is 3 inches wide by 9 inches, or I'm sorry, 3 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down straight to the card. I'm going to go ahead and kind of place the petals onto the card so I can get them on there so I know where they're going to be before I glue them down. It's going to be about just like that. And then go ahead and use your dimensional adhesive to get it down onto the card. Okay, now you're going to take a pencil And you're going to just kind of sketch a little curved line, kind of coming off to the right here, and then coming back to the left and curving down below. And we're going to go ahead and put on our letter stickers, and they're going to be around this area right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just erase a little bit of that area really lightly, just so that as we're putting on the letter stickers, we're not going to have to erase, you know, really closely around them. Okay, so now that I've got the letter stickers onto the card, I'm going to go ahead and take a white gel pen, and I'm going to do dashed lines over top that pencil. And the trick to doing this over top pencil is to just let it dry for a really long time and then go back and erase your pencil lines. White pens tend to be a little more wet than other types of pens, and so you really have to wait for them to dry before you can run anything over the surface of where you used your pen. Okay, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm just going to draw in some leaves. A larger one and then a smaller one. In fact, I think I might make it even a tiny bit larger. Okay, so that finishes up the card, all except for erasing those pencil lines. So you'll just want to let the pencil, or let the pen dry really well, and then you can erase it. So that finishes up cards 6 through 10. Please join me next week as we make cards 11 through 15 and finish off the end of this Hopscotch online card class. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.